Hi everyone. This is a picture I drew. It's a picture of a man. There is his hair, there are his eyes, two eyes, there's his eyebrows, there's his nose, here's his ear, and here's his mouth. And he has kind of short hair. It's short on top, a little bit long on the back here. And he's wearing a shirt with a tie. There's a tie, and here's the collar. So his shirt has a collar. What is his name? I haven't given him a name. What is his name? What should his name be? Is his name Bob? No, his name is not Bob. How about Frank? Frank. Is his name Frank? No, his name's not Frank either. So his name is not Frank. How about John? John. John. Yeah, I think his name is John. So many people have the name John. So his name is John, and John is a man. So John is a man. And how old is John? How old is John? Is John 60 years old? Is he 60 years old? No, he doesn't look 60 years old. 60 would be too old. How about 6 years old? Is he 6 years old? Does he look 6 years old? No, 6 years old would be too young. So he's not 6 years old either. That's too young. How old is John? Is John 130 years old? No, of course not. John is not 130 years old. Nobody is 130 years old. So John is not 130 years old. I think John is 30 years old. So yeah, he looks 30 years old. So John is 30 years old. So John is a man, and he's 30 years old. So he is a 30-year-old man. And where does John live? Where does John live? John lives in Canada. So what city in Canada does he live in? Well, he lives in Toronto. Toronto is a city in Canada. So John lives in Toronto, Canada. John lives in Toronto, Canada. So John is a man, he's 30 years old, and he lives in Toronto in Canada. So what does John do? So here is 1 week. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So this is 1 week. 1 week has 7 days. So 1 week has 7 days: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And John works from Monday to Friday. So John works in an office. Here's John working in an office. He's working on a computer in an office, and he works on Monday. So John works on Monday. John works on Tuesday. John works on Wednesday. John works on Thursday. And John works on Friday. But John does not work on Saturday or Sunday. So John does not work on Saturday, and John does not work on Sunday either. So John works from Monday to Friday. So John works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So John works 5 days a week. And then on Saturday and Sunday, John relaxes. So he doesn't work. He doesn't work on Saturday, and he doesn't work on Sunday. So John works 5 days a week, and each day he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So he works from 9 to 5. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. So John works Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 9 till 5. So John works 5 days a week. John works on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, John does not work. He can relax. So Saturday and Sunday, John does not work, but he works. He works from Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. So what does John do? What does John do on a weekday? So these are the weekdays, Monday to Friday, those are the weekdays, and this is the weekend. So a week has 7 days, and there are 5 weekdays, and then Saturday and Sunday are the weekend. So what does John do? What does John do on the weekdays? Well, he works from 9 to 5. What else does he do? So John wakes up at 7 a.m. John wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So at 7 a.m., John wakes up. He's sleeping, then he wakes up, and John has breakfast. So John has breakfast. He has coffee. There's his coffee. And he has some breakfast. So he drinks coffee and he eats breakfast. What does he eat for breakfast? For breakfast, he eats some eggs. There's some eggs. So he has eggs, and he has toast for breakfast, and he has a glass of milk. So for breakfast, he has coffee, he has milk, he has some eggs, some fried eggs, and he has some toast. So that is John's breakfast. So he eats breakfast, he drinks coffee, then he gets ready. He gets ready for work, maybe around 7:45. So he showers and brushes his teeth, he shaves. He puts on his clothes, he puts on his shirt, he puts on his tie. So he gets dressed. And then at about 8:15, he drives to work. So he gets in his car. There's his car. And he gets in his car and he drives to work. He drives to his office. There's an office building. So he drives to work. And he gets to work. He has to be there at 9 a.m. That's when his work starts. So John arrives at work just before 9 a.m. and he comes into the office. Here is John at his office. Here's his desk. And there's a computer on his desk. There's the keyboard. And there's a mouse. And here's John. He's sitting at his desk. And there's his chair. So John is working. So John works from 9 a.m. until noon. So he works from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. So 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or 9 a.m. until noon. For 3 hours he works at his desk on his computer. And then at 12 o'clock at noon, he takes a lunch break. So he goes and eats lunch. So John goes to a restaurant. So there's a restaurant. Maybe he goes to McDonald's. McDonald's is a restaurant. So maybe John goes to McDonald's or somewhere like that. McDonald's or Burger King or KFC or somewhere like that. So John goes to a restaurant. He goes to a restaurant at noon, at 12 p.m., and he eats lunch there. Maybe at McDonald's he eats a hamburger, a Big Mac, and some French fries. There's some French fries, and maybe another coffee. So there's a tall cup of coffee. So at noon, at 12 p.m., he goes to a restaurant, he goes to McDonald's, and he has lunch. And he eats a hamburger, he eats French fries, and he drinks a coffee. And then at 1 p.m., John goes back to work. So John goes back to his office. So there's John's chair, there's John sitting at his desk, there's his computer, and there's his keyboard and mouse. So he works at his office, at the office where he works. And he works there from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. So he works from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. And then he finishes work. So at 5 p.m. he is done. He has finished work for the day. Remember, he works from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. So what does he do then? Then he gets into his car again. So he gets in his car and John drives to the gym. He drives to a gym. So he gets to a gym at 5:30 p.m. and he goes to a gym. At the gym, he does things like, here he is lifting weights. So he lifts weights at the gym. So he lifts weights at the gym. He also runs. This is a treadmill. There's a treadmill. So he runs on the treadmill at the gym. And maybe also he swims at the gym. There's a swimming pool. So he swims at the gym. Here he's swimming in the swimming pool. Here's a bigger picture of him. He's swimming at the swimming pool. There's the water. And so John goes swimming and runs and lifts weights at the gym. So this is at the gym. So he is at the gym for 1 hour. He's at the gym from 5:30 until 6:30 p.m. So then he drives from the gym. He drives home, and he gets home at about 6:45. So the gym is near his home. So 6:45. There's his car. He arrives home at his house. So at 6:45, he arrives home. So he goes to the gym from 5:30 until 6:30. So for 1 hour, he spends 1 hour at the gym working out, lifting weights, running, swimming. And then at 6:30, he gets in his car, drives home from the gym, and so he arrives home at 6:45 p.m. That's when he arrives home. At 6:45 p.m. or just after then, he makes dinner. So he makes dinner and he eats dinner. So for dinner, he has some fish. So there's some fish and some rice. There's a bowl of rice and some salad. Here's some salad. There's a bowl of salad. So there's a fork and a spoon. So for dinner, he has rice and fish and salad for dinner. So at about 7:30, so then he eats all his dinner and he's finished at 7:30. So then he watches TV. So here's John sitting down and watching TV. There's his TV set. So John watches TV for 1 hour from 7:30 until 8:30. So he watches TV for 1 hour from 7:30 until 8:30. Then from 8:30 until 10:30. So for 2 hours, John uses the internet. So he surfs the internet. Here is his laptop computer. There's John, and he's using the mouse there. He's clicking with his mouse. And he's using the internet. So he's on different websites. He's using Facebook. He's using YouTube, watching videos like maybe this one on YouTube, or other videos. And so he's on the internet. He's on the internet for 2 hours from 8:30 until 10:30 p.m. And then at 10:30 p.m. He gets ready for bed. So again, he brushes his teeth and maybe has another shower. So there he gets ready for bed. He showers, he brushes his teeth. There's a toothbrush and toothpaste. And at 11 p.m., he is in bed. There's John. There's his pillow. So he's sleeping on his pillow. He's going to sleep. So John goes to sleep. There's his blanket, and here is his bed. So John sleeps. John sleeps from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. So John sleeps for 8 hours a night from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m., he wakes up again and has breakfast and gets ready for work and drives and goes to work again. So that's what John does on the weekdays from Monday until Friday. Okay, so let's review again. Okay, so this is John. This is John. His name is John. He is a man. He is 30 years old. So this is John. John is a 30-year-old man, and he lives in Canada. He lives in the city of Toronto in Canada. So John is a 30-year-old man, and he lives in Toronto, Canada. And John works from Monday until Friday, and each day from Monday to Friday, he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So John works from Monday to Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday, he does not work. He just relaxes, does what he wants on Saturday and Sunday. But he works from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So on each day of the week, from Monday to Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, at 7 a.m., John wakes up. He makes breakfast and he eats breakfast. So he drinks coffee and he eats eggs and toast and drinks milk for breakfast. Then around 7:45 a.m., he showers, he shaves, he brushes his teeth, and he puts on his clothes. He puts on his pants. He puts on his shirt. He puts on his tie. So he gets dressed at about 8:15 a.m. He gets in his car and he drives to where he works, to this office building. So John works in an office. So at 9 a.m. he is in his office and he's working. He works from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. And then at 12 p.m. at noon, he has his lunch break. So he goes out and he eats lunch somewhere. He goes to a restaurant like McDonald's. At McDonald's, he eats a big hamburger, a Big Mac. He eats French fries. He drinks another coffee from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. At 1 p.m., he goes back to his office and he works there. He works from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. Then at 5 p.m., he finishes work. He works from 9 to 5, so he finishes work at 5 p.m. Then he gets in his car and he drives to the gym. So at 5:30 p.m. he arrives at the gym. At 5:30 p.m. he arrives at the gym and he works out there. He lifts weights, he runs on a treadmill, he swims in the swimming pool. So he works out, he spends 1 hour at the gym working out from 5:30 until 6:30 p.m. Then at 6:30 p.m. he gets back in his car and he drives home, he drives to his house. He arrives home at 6:45 p.m. and then he has dinner. He has something like fish for dinner with rice and salad, and so he eats dinner and he finishes dinner around 7:30 p.m. Then from 7:30 until 8:30 p.m. for 1 hour, he watches TV for 1 hour, and then from 8:30 until 10:30 p.m. for 2 hours, he uses his computer, his laptop computer, and he uses the internet. He surfs the internet. He looks at sites like Facebook, so he uses Facebook. He watches YouTube videos. He watches videos on YouTube, so he uses Facebook, YouTube, other websites. So he surfs the web for 2 hours from 8:30 until 10:30 p.m. At 10:30 p.m. he gets ready for bed, he showers, he brushes his teeth, he gets ready for bed, gets ready to sleep, and at 11 p.m. he is in bed, so he goes to sleep at 11 p.m. and he sleeps for 8 hours from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. Then 7 a.m. he wakes up and does it all again.